judicial law and policy. A quick note for all and a quick scenario for all. First, with a quick note. The court system passes laws of people who are able to make their point superior to the other. It does not always protect freedom. Therefore, it's no different than a battleground. And lastly, the scenario. What pattern you will notice is that in the court of law and passing laws, one door that opens always leaves another door cracked, making it possible for another door to open too, and sometimes doors that you probably don't want open. Let's begin. We are told that same-sex weddings should be valid. Everybody should have an equal right to marry. After all, to say otherwise is prejudicial and discriminatory and cannot be tolerated. Okay, let's recognize gay marriage. Alright, well, hold on, just wait a second. Well, also, what about common law? You gotta recognize that too. What about common law marriage, right? If now it's all of a sudden, it's no longer between a man and a woman, now marriage is redefined and now it is between two persons. So what about common law marriage? Some couples, whether opposite sex or same sex, live together without benefit of any state-sanctioned marriage. Marriage, they hold, consists of nothing more than a piece of paper anyway. Who needs that? They are committed to each other by love. Okay, this is another great form of quote-unquote family. So let's recognize common law marriage. Oh, but wait, hold on, time out. Wait a minute, because if we can have gay marriage and if we can have common law marriage shared between two persons, well, what about somebody else who, wants to take it back a few thousand years? Somebody who wants to have more than one person to be with. Let's talk about polygamy. Polygamists truly believe that having more than one spouse at a time is acceptable, even desirable. Subcategories are polygamy, in which a man has multiple wives, and polyandry, which is the opposite, an arrangement in which a woman has more than one husband. Polygamy, by the way, is not necessarily limited to 3 adult partners. A natural variant, I repeat, a natural variant of these will be a group marriage with more than 3 adult partners, regardless of their sex. Such an arrangement means that there could be more adults to provide loving care for the children, lessening the demand on any one of the adults. Also, more than one adult, perhaps even all of the adults, can work outside the home, providing income to support the family. This would surely provide a higher standard of living. Sounds great. Let's allow polygamy and all these subset types of family to be recognized too. But hold on, wait a minute. This is where it gets a little interesting. If we can have gay marriage and same-sex marriage and common law marriage and, we can have polygamy and all these subsets. Lastly, there are some people out there that believe that hold the desire of a man and an animal to be just as virtuous and genuine as 2 persons, and would like for a man and an animal to be made lawful as marriage. Let's recognize bestiality marriage too. Alright. And to top it all off, let's educate children on all these forms of marriage in elementary schools, since we are already educating them and giving them choices of homosexuality without letting them know the risks of their human freedom yet. Now, is everybody happy? Is everybody satisfied? Does everyone have what they want? Great. Because the judicial system has some direct questions regarding the limit of rights that your new spousal system will entail for the world and generations after you.
But if I'm going to stay, there's something I want to show you.
Something magical and full of wonder.
It's called a contract.
You want us to sign this?
Just a formality, really. Yeah.
Who are they?
Magical time-traveling elves. Yeah, magic.
Okay, they're my lawyers. Liability issues, litigious society, frivolous lawsuits, you understand. Basically, this contract guarantees you can have all the fun you want and nothing bad's ever gonna happen.
All the fun we want?
Nothing bad will happen.
No.
Come on, Sal, for once in your life, try something spontaneous.
Goes against my better instincts, but fine.
Beautiful initial here, and here, and here. No, here! Turn it over. This is nothing. Scratch this. Smell that? Terrific. Yada, yada, yada. Sign the bottom. Great. Okay. Give me 5. 4. Let's get this party started.
Can't be that bad, right? Let's find out. Now we have a list of legal questions. Are you ready? Yeah. Go ahead. Just ask the questions, please. Okay. How many people are allowed to be legally recognized in an arrangement like this? Well, I guess they have to be 18 years of age, so they can be legally recognized to be married. What does an employer have to provide insurance for? Well, they gotta provide insurance for, the people who are married. In two-person arrangements with no state-sanctioned marriage ceremony, are they entitled to employer-provided benefits equal to legally married couples? Well, yeah, just because one is like a man and a woman, that don't mean that they get better benefits. A man and a man, or a woman and a woman, they should get, the same benefits. Okay, well, if that's the case, then this really puts no distinction between legally traditional married couples and other couples that are same sex and are not sanctioned by the state. This would make the state not sanctionable. This would defeat the purpose of a state-sanctioned marriage if we're just going to give everybody the same stuff. Alright, well, yeah, that's, I guess that ain't that bad, we all could be equal. How long does a couple have to live together to qualify as a common law marriage? Well, I was just saying, like, maybe like 7 years, we got 7 days of the week, and 7 is the age accountability, just maybe 7 years. I think that'd be good. How does inheritance or property work? Well, that's simple, you just pass it on to your son. That son has to be biological, am I correct? Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, what does that have to say about dogs? What are you talking about? Yes, remember, bestiality marriage is now legal. That would mean that a dog can get, is equal to you in terms of gaining inheritance of property. What the... Sir, this is what you allow to be sanctioned as law. Please do not be shocked at any of these legal obligations that come along with it. Also, if a dog has the right to obtain property, I guess also a dog will eventually have the right to a proper living and a right to be taken care of. I'm pretty sure dogs and animals and all types of other animals that you have, this will eliminate your rights to actually put them down, because the dog, has not spoken for himself whether he wants to do that or not. Because dogs are allowed to be legally married, and any other animals are allowed to be legally married, and they're allowed to own property, the dogs have just as much rights as you. So what you're saying is, like, there's no difference between animals and human beings? If these laws go into effect, that's precisely what I'm saying. Welcome to the world of law. Okay, next up. I hope you're not sweating too much. No, I'm cool. Just keep going. I'm alright. If the family includes 2 or more adults, more than 2 adults, how does it affect the legal status of an arrangement if 1 or more people decide that they want out of the arrangement, maybe taking children with them? Well, can't it still count to be biological? It doesn't matter if. Well, no. Remember, the biological really doesn't count anymore. Ever since same-sex marriages came into the picture, that would make same-sex marriages unequal. Oh well, I guess. Can I answer that later? Next question: how are employer-provided benefits affected? Didn't you already ask this before? Well, yes. Now I'm asking it in terms of group marriages. Just skip the question. Next question, please. Foster care and adoption of children must also be looked at. So, should multiple adult partner families be allowed to take in foster children or to adopt children? Well, wouldn't that be like a burden or something, since, they all got, their own kids and all that? Wouldn't that just be extra stuff? Well, a lot of times people like to adopt children and, foster children because, there are monthly checks that are allotted to them. So they would fight that extremely hard. That's one of the reasons why they would love to adopt. It's really not for the child, but sometimes, in, some cases, it's for the money. Next question. When multiple partner families split up, who gets custody of which children? Okay, I guess the bloodline thing is out because that seems to, stump on same-sex marriages. How about you don't know? Next question. Now, since one aspect of family law is making sure all children born are cared for, is a person who is physically capable of reproduction entitled to have consensual sex and therefore entitled to marry or enter into a legally equivalent relationship? Well, no. Just because you're able to have kids, that you shouldn't be allowed to, to marry, Well, what if these 2 individuals really do love each other at the age of 9, and then they're together for 7 years, being the age of 16? That's technically 7 years, as you plainly stated earlier. Oh yeah, you surely wouldn't want to take away their rights to be married as well, would you? Not really, Should there be a limit on the age of the partner that one consents to have sex with? If so, what is a legally acceptable age difference? One should I think they should be the same age. Okay, fair enough. If quote-unquote underage people do have sex and produce children, who is obliged to care for those children? Also recognize that there are high officials with books publishing for birthing licenses for proper population control for healthy environments, so they say. Underage people have sex, produce kids. Well, I guess, the parent or the guardian that's over them, they should care for the kids because, they can't do that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Finally, think about moving from one state to another, sir, and finding your family is no longer legally recognized. Should these laws be established by states or by the federal government? Why do I not have a good feeling about that question, even though I can't explain why. Sir, I can only conclude that you have no clue as to the effects, especially the negative effects, of passing certain laws has on your freedoms. Sometimes the freedoms that you want can be taken away simply because of the laws that you want. Please think carefully about what I've said.